resilience, anticipate, organize, adapt. Good day to you, Doctor. This is the beginning of our presentation. We are Team 13, from SHAD1043 Section 1. Please enjoy our presentation. Before we start, they are the members of Team 13. Yap Yong Zi, Taib Arash, Nadiah, and Xin Yi.
I'm Yap Yong Zi, going to explain about the synopsis, how we adapt to the hardship and work together to turn the difficulties into opportunities. The story starts with three boys, Ball A, Ball B, and Ball C, where they're going to overcome the difficulties during their journey. This is just a timeline, so they're going to meet the first problem. This inclined slope. The original roll shape makes them unable to climb up the hill. Now, Ball B reshapes Ball A into a triangle. Three of them has three past the hill. And now, they're going to meet their second problem. There's heavy rain and flood. Now, Ball A and Ball B change their shape again into a flat shape. This enables them to float and survive it. However, Ball C refuses to change and sinks under the water. Ball and Ball B help Ball C by making themselves at the board to reach their destination. So next is the third problem. So from here you can see that some place is too hot and some place is over rain. That's the crop die. So let's discuss with others, build a water system to carry rainwater from another place to one place that's lacking of water. And it's the end. They reach and get the treasure. So now they will cover the crops.
Hi, I am Taib Arash. So I will talk about the Big 5 personality. So there are 5 dimensions of personality, which are extraversion, neuroticism, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness to experience. Of course, each of them has specific traits and characteristics. So by learning this model, we are able to understand people and help us manage organizational behavior. Okay, generally the Big 5 traits affects the organizational behavior in job performance, job satisfaction, growth in leadership, and growth in experience. Okay, let's dive into extraversion. The characteristics of individuals with high extraversion are comfortable being in social groups or relationships. Therefore, they tend to be gregarious, assertive, and sociable. They are generally appear to be happy socially because they express their feelings more freely, and also due to their ability to experience more positive emotions. They often seem ambitious. Meanwhile, introverts or individuals with low extraversion tend to be more thoughtful, reserved, timid, and quiet in social interaction. Okay, based on the example in the video or in our case study, based on the video, Ball B shaped Ball A into a triangle, which Ball C was just standing there. Okay, by observing these attitudes, we can say that Ball B is high in extraversion due to its positivity and optimism in handling difficulties to climb the hill. So its ability to communicate and convince Ball A to make a change shows its assertiveness. Meanwhile, Ball C is more reserved and quiet, show that it has low extraversion. Okay, next is neuroticism. Negative activity is another term for neuroticism. Individuals with high neuroticism are prone to negative emotion and stress, implying that they have a negative attitude toward their work environment and more critical of themselves and their performance. As a result, they push themselves to enhance their performance, yet this drive may be exceptionally effective in certain situations. Individuals with low neuroticism, on the other hand, do not easily experience negative emotion and are not as critical and pessimistic as their high neurotic counterparts. So from the example from the video, the first situation is when Ball B shaped Ball A into a triangle. In this situation, we can see that Ball A conveys a feeling of stress when it grumbles about not being able to overcome the problem to climb the hill. Thus, we can conclude that Ball A has high neuroticism. In second situation is when Ball C did not change shape to a flatboard-like shape, so Ball B sank. Therefore, we can say that Ball C is low in neuroticism because it was very calm when waiting for help from the flat-shaped counterparts. When the water was rising and recovery. Okay, next is agreeableness. Agreeableness is a personality attribute that distinguishes those who get along with others from those who don't. Individuals with low agreeableness are antagonistic, mistrustful, unsympathetic, and uncooperative, which may be advantageous in employment requiring certain antagonistic behavior, such as debt collector or instructors. Individuals with high agreeableness are easy to get along with and work well in groups. They are important in positions that need good interpersonal interaction. Okay, in the video, we can see that balls A and B appear to be highly agreeable in this video. However, ball C appears to be less agreeable. This is due to the fact that when ball A was unable to solve the difficulty, ball B was being cooperative by assisting ball A in changing the shape from round to triangle, and ball A agreed to accept the solution. On the other hand, when ball C sank into the water, we can see the cooperation between ball A and ball B to assist ball C in crossing the flood, and ball C agreed to accept the help from others instead of being antagonistic and reject the help. This demonstrates a good level of agreeableness between them. Okay, next is conscientiousness. Conscientiousness is defined by Robin and Just 2017 as a measure of reliability. Industriousness, order, self-control, responsibility, traditionalism, and virtue are the 6 sub-factors that make up reliability. Referring to the above qualities, people who lack direction and self-discipline, easily distracted and disorganized can be identified as a low level of conscientiousness. Meanwhile, people with a high level of conscientiousness at work are capable of retaining their job performance. In this situation, excessive rain and flooding demonstrate the conscientiousness of the balls. Balls A and B transform the shape to a flat boat-like shape, allowing them to float and survive the flood. Ball C, on the other hand, did not change its shape, but luckily balls A and B helped it to float. Thus, we can say that balls A and B have a high level of conscientiousness since they are reliable and responsible to help the troubled member, while ball C in this case demonstrates a lack of conscientiousness because of the lack of direction when unexpected situations occur. Okay, the last one is openness to experience. Openness to experience occurs when individuals are open to a wide range of stimuli, have broad interests, and are prepared to take chances. In a nutshell, they are innovative, curious, broad-minded, and artistically sensitive people with well-developed intellect. This set of values is fitting for jobs that constantly change, require creativity and innovation, or involve a high risk or high level of risk. Individuals who have a poor openness to experience tend to be conventional and prefer to stay in their comfort zone. Open people are more likely to be a good leader at work because they are more adaptable to uncertainty and organizational change. Okay, we can observe this personality from 2 situations, which are when ball B shaped ball A into a triangle, and when balls A and B changed their shape to a flat boat-like shape during the flood, while ball C did not. Okay, from this situation, we can conclude that ball A has high openness to experience because of its willingness to change, willingness to accept changes, to transform from a round shape to a triangle and to a flat boat-like shape. Ball B is able to come up with an innovative idea during climbing the hill. Meanwhile, ball C has the lowest level of openness to experience due to its resistance to change. It prefers to stay in its comfort zone during the flood, even though it is not practical to the situation. That's all from me. Thank you.
Here, I'm going to talk about learning and creativity in our case. So, in the aspect of creativity, which is the generation of novel and useful ideas in order to tackle the problems and opportunities. So in our case, we can see that there are 3 red round balls. They want to climb up the inclined hills, but they are unable to do that. So they need to think of the creative solutions by changing their shapes from round shapes into triangle shapes for the creative process. So understanding the steps involved in the creativity able to help a person become more creative and able to better manage the creativity among the others. So what are the steps that involve in the creativity? So in our case, we can see that the first step of creative process, which is the recognition of a problem or an opportunity. So in this case, the person is able to determine and recognize the problem, which is the corn plants are unable to grow due to some of the location having too much of water and some of the location having too little of water due to the unpredictable weather conditions. After recognizing the problem, then move to the second step, which is the information gathering. The person is then discussed with the other people in order to collect and gather the information related in order to tackle with the problem. After collecting the information, then move to the third and the fourth steps, which are production of the creative ideas and selection of creative ideas. The people are then have a discussion to think of what kind of the actions or what the solutions can be taken in order to tackle with the problems. In this stage, they also need to do the evaluation in order to choose the best idea among the ideas they generated. And here, they decided to construct a water collection system. So, after having the ideas, they move to the last step of creative process, which is the implementation of creative ideas. Lastly, they then build and construct the water collection system in order to collect the rainwater and conserve it, then use it to water the corn plants at where the location, like where lack of the water. So at the end, they're able to harvest the corn plants which are healthy grown. And here we can see that the problems or the challenge they face, they are able to solve it critically and creatively, and also by the effort of all people who work cooperatively.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Nadiah and I will be presenting the organizational change and stress management focused on the force to change and resistance to change. Force to change is a making change entails creating something new. So there are several examples of forces. First, competitive forces, economical, political and global forces, ethical forces, and lastly, demographic and social forces. Based on our video, we could conclude that the three problems that the world face are forces to change, although it doesn't directly reflect the real environment and the situation. So the first problem is the inclined slope. We could relate that the inclined slope as a competition. If we manage to change our shape in this situation, we will be able to climb the hill and compete with other balls. So in this scene, the first ball changed its shape and be the first one to overcome the obstacle and continue the journey. The second problem is a sudden change in weather and heavy rain leads to the flood. This could relate the economical, political, and global forces. We do not know what will happen when we come to a new location. Similarly, in our video, when the three balls reach a new location, they need to change their shape from a triangle into a flat form in order to survive in the flood. Next is resistance to change. There are many factors resistant to change, for example, uncertainty and insecurity, habit, selective perception, and retention. So to relate the theory with our video, the bossy refused to change because he is not sure what will happen in future and he is not sure whether it will be a good or bad result. He might be afraid that he still fail to overcome the obstacle if he change his shape. He thinks that the current situation and shape, which is triangle, is comfortable and not willing to change. Moreover, Bossy also show habit where he is used to the triangle shape, which is the previous shape he used in the first problem, and thinks that the triangle shape will also help him to survive in the flood. However, it fails. It is because each problem may require different approach to solve the problem. Actually, this theory is not included in our course, but it's only related to our video. So what is resilience? Resilience is the ability to help the individuals to recover and deal with difficulties positively. Resilience in workplace. So what is resilience? Actually, resilience is related to the ability to withstand the shocks, to adapt, and to transform. It consists of 4 domains, which is the awareness and sense-making domains, the change domain, behavioral domains, and last one, growth domains. So for the first ones, awareness and sense-making domains is related to the ability to anticipate the risk and future developments. So the change domains is to change and to adapt. The third one, behavioral domains, is include the ability to accept the reality and see the situations in a positive way, and able to create solutions to overcome it. And the last one, the growth domain, actually is the result after you overcome a crisis. So when you're learning from the past experience and then you grow, develop, new capabilities. Resilience is very important in the workplace because it helps individuals dealing with the workplace demands, performing effectively in the workplace. It also has a great influence in the work outcomes such as reduce the turnover rate, improve the organizational engagement and organizational commitment. It also increases the job satisfaction. Change domain. Change domain actually is referred to the ability and capability to adapt to change. So from the first scene, you can notice that the round shape rainbow they change into a triangle shape. This helps them to climb up the hills, and this change helps them to overcome the obstacles and adapt in that situations. For the next scene, we can see that the triangle shape they change into a flat shape. This helps them to float on the water and how they adapt in that situation. So this is the change domain. The behavioral domain. Behavioral domain is the ability to make meaning in terrible times. This actually means that we're able to see the positive sides and to turn it into opportunities, to turn the bad things into good things. So for example, if you notice in the scene, in the video, there is two places. The first place is overrained, a lot of water, those the crops will die. And the second place is too hot, so the crops also die. So they discuss and they come up with a water system. If you correct the raining water from one place to the place that lack of water, so at the end, both places the crops will survive and the people able to harvest the crops. So that's all for my part.
Here I have some lessons that we can learn from our case. First, we need to learn to adapt in different kinds of situations, especially when facing the hardships and even in the adversity. We should learn to change ourselves, be more open-minded, and able to accept the ideas from other people in order to overcome the obstacles or challenge. Just like the 3 red round balls, they keep changing their shapes in order to adapt in different kinds of environments. Second, we need to have a positive minds and attitudes when facing the challenge. It is because the same thing can be viewed from different perspectives, so we should look on the positive side and search for further opportunities. Instead of falling into desperation or escaping from the reality, we must remain calm when facing a challenge and solve it with a positive mind so it can lead to a positive outcome. Third, we need to have the ability to think creatively and have the problem-solving skills. It is important for us because we need to solve the problems no matter in our daily life or in our workplace in the future. Being creative, we are able to cope with the complex or complicated problems by producing new and better solutions or ideas. At the same time, it indirectly can help us to for our own self-development.
I think I agree with my group member opinion. It is because in our life we need to encounter all problems with creativity and always think positive in whatever situation we faced. Honestly, for me, positive thinking will help you to think effectively in order to solve the problem. Plus, our life journey is not about walking on the smooth-landed pathway. We will face many obstacles in our life. Do not compare your life with other people because we face different types of challenges with unpredictable consequences.